Hi, I'm Chris here. Welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're watching my video, please make sure you read on the description and the title below for the current software version that I'm using right now. My goal with this channel is to help you to become a better modular. So please take a moment and let me know in the comment how am I doing. Remember to leave a thumbs up so it can help the YouTube to share this video with a wider audience. And if you aren't subscribed, please do so and click on the bell for future content. Hi, welcome back guys. So in this video, we're going to talk about how do you draw irregular shape column in TSE3. Okay, so right now when we open up our TSE3 software, we'll run into this interface. To draw a column, you have to go to the Identify tab or the Drawing tab. For me, I prefer Drawing tab. So the difference between these two is that for the Drawing tab, most of the features and the functions here are helping you to draw your column faster, and they help even some of these features will help you align your column to the side of the slab and everything. So and also copy the column to the other floor, mostly on the column functions that help you to do column faster. When you come into this identified tab here, the features over here will explain more on the column and also identify column using the existing CAD layer. You will to faster up to identify the column, such as pick on the sideline, label, and things like this. So you can even draw your column over here, but however, be careful, you will accidentally delete the drawing itself. For me, I do not recommend to draw any column or delete anything in identify. So for column, I'll prefer you go to a drawing tab here to do your column. To do your column, you have to move to your column tab over here. The first symbol is column. When you put your mouse cursor over here for longer enough, it will appear such as column bracket C. The bracket C actually means that the short key for the column. If I click on the C, the whole column will disappear, and I unclick again, and so it will appear. So for the second one will be stiffener bracket S. Next one will be Corbel bracket E. So to create a column, you have to move to the column over here, select the plus sign top here. Once you click on it, it will appear four type of column. In TSC3, it will provide icon of each column, but in TRB, it will appear icon like this, but the explanation of the column itself. So to create irregular column, click on this one. Then it will bring you to this graph over here, the editor. So once this editor open, you can always change this axis Y and X by moving up to this define mesh. Select on define mesh, then it will appear another table. So from here, you can just change it accordingly and press enter. So right now, we do not need to change this. For this column, 100 will do. It's sufficient to cap for this irregular column. To open up the irregular column, I will prefer you to open up the column schedule. So right now, I will teach you a few functions to draw the column. Select on small arrow over here. Then it will appear select section from the drawing and draw section in the drawing. When you select the section from the drawing, such as this one, then you can able to select, you see, the next step will appear over here. Select the cat just like this and right click to confirm. Here you go, you got your column. So click on OK, and then it will appear a new column. However, if you have a difficulty to click on the column, you can press on F4. If you have to move the column to the edge, just like this one, for you to easy pointing. Right now, I will teach you another step, which is using draw section in the drawing. So you have to click on the column here, just like this. Make sure you unclick this random point. Once you see the yellow X over here, the software that able to tell you that, oh, this actually they meet a point between two intersection of the layer, just like this. Click on OK, then it will appear your column. You can even click on the select intersection point, change it from here to the other edge of the column that you want. Click on OK. Here you go, your column. And another method which is quite tedious, this method I do not recommend if you're able to use these two methods. So another method is a manual method, which is you have to manually draw your column. So if the dimension did not appear, click on one-click dimension. When it appears, you have to check between the size over here. As you can see, here is actually 650. You have to manually change this as well. Double click 650. Double click here below, change it to 650. Here you go. So once everything okay, then click on OK and point your column just like this. Remember to change the column name. Click on here once, change it to C9, or you can click on here to change to C9 as well. So right now we're going to draw the column on the C8 over here. As you can see, the C8 will look like this one, this shape. Okay, for this shape, the fastest way is to use this function. Select on the irregular column. Use this function over here. Select or draw. I do it once, then you're able to know. Okay, just like this. Select and enter. Change the intersection point and click OK. Here you go. Or you can use another method called draw in, this one. Then you have to point one by one to complete your drawing. Remember to select the intersection point over here. By default, it will appear at the edge of the XY. So you can select it and point to the edge of the column. So allow you to easy to point column later. I'll put over here and click OK. Just like this. So right now we will talk about the attribute editor. It will located over here. So I have to click on this one, irregular shape, to allow it to appear beside the column name over here, C8 and C9. Click on this both column and then select the shape over here, then it will appear just like this. Why I need to do this is because by looking at the list alone, you do not need to click on each column, then it will tell you the important information beside the column name over here, such as right now the C8, C9 is actually irregular shape column. It already told you that this column is irregular shape. So another important thing is that the concrete grade. In TS, we talk about this concrete grade a lot. We have to fill this concrete grade 30 inside the TS here, which is located over here, grade 30. So a bit about this thing is that why is actually bracket. The bracket actually means by default, the default will be followed back on here. Go back to the project setting, go to the floor setting, and the default will be located over here. The column for ground floor is actually C30. So by default, it's actually C30. For this one, if you've done it correctly, you do not need to change it a lot during your modeling time. Let's say there are some different grade in the floor. You have to find the majority of the same grade. You can just set it on the default. So right now, I will talk about the blue wording and also the black wording over here. What is the difference between these two? Blue is actually means a public entity. Black actually means a private entity. Let me give an example. Let's say I will use C9 as an example. If I were to point the column over here and select the column, and I will change this grade 30, let's say to grade 60. So once I change everything over here, in the list itself, automatically it will change to grade 60. On the next column, it will follow as well. You see, let's say I were to change on the list itself without selecting on the column, change it back to grade 30. So when I click the column over here, it will change accordingly. Let's say for the black wording with private entity, I want to create another C9 over here. As you can see, there are two C9 actually the same column, But this one, however, I have to change this top elevation to 1. So actually the floor below here is 0. I will change it to 1, let's say +1. It will appear like this without changing everything in the list and in other model as well. So this is called the private entity. So now to delete the column, and we adjust it accordingly. So for this public entity, so I have to fill it according to the floor. Let's say this floor is podium and this column is actually put as column over here in the construction phase. So I have to select it and done properly before I were to point in the column like this. Make sure I have to click on this one, the concrete grade. From here, without looking in the column, it will already tell me that this column is actually grade 30. So to point on the column is very easy. Select on the column and then you can select point. As you can see, there's a yellow cross over here and point on it like this. And for the C8, just like this. Or you can press on F4 to select different edge to point. So after you've done your column, make sure you copy to other floor using this feature, draw, copy to other floor, select the column and to other floor, such as level 1. So make sure you have to tally with the construction, the drawing schedule over here, just like this, grade 30, grade 30, and then the size, make sure it's the same. So after you've done your column, make sure you click on the calculation over here in the quantity, in the calculation, select all and click OK, or you can click on the shortcut key F9 for calculation. After you're done, make sure you go to the view quantity by category to view your quantity report. Select the range that you want to view, select OK. Once the table appear, you can click on the subtotal to have a better view for each of the section divided. So from here you can arrange it using classification and the range over here. So just now our column irregular shape it will appear over here. Grade 30 column, ground floor, irregular column C8, C9, C8 and C9. That's all. Thank you.